Oh man.
Sound. There we go. All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Level Quest, Dungeons and Dragons 5e live play stream set in the chaotic and elemental homebrew world of Illustera. Before we begin, I want to share just a couple things with you. First off, our HelloFresh sponsorship campaign is still going on until the 22nd. In my house, we made a coconut curry and like bulgur grain dish with roasted veggies this week. Both of them were awesome. Highly recommend checking it out. Plus, you'll get a bunch of free meals if you go and do it with the link down in our About Us section or in the chat. And you'd be supporting the stream, so that would be really cool. Second, a big thank you to everybody who's been watching and tuning in. We hit 50 followers this week, which is a really cool big milestone for us. That's the start of the affiliate program with Twitch, which is basically where you just start getting recognized and can do more and get a little more involved with that. So thank you to everybody for supporting this so far. We hope you're having fun. And lastly, just our general little trigger warning. We cover sensitive topics like body horror, addiction, coarse language, and stuff like that. We're not going to shy away from it. We hope we don't traumatize you, but if you need to step away, then please do so and grab a soda or something, and then we hope you come back. I think that is it for newsy stuff. So I am Corey Keeney, your Dungeon Master, and I'm joined by 5 fantastic players below me who will introduce themselves.
Okay, what up, everybody? It's Dan, aka Embervis, if I'm responding to anything in the chat box. I'm playing Calder Sage, who is a half-orc fighter. He's a fairly large half-orc, built to stature, wielding a blacksmith hammer, a dark green skin with a bit of a brown hue to it, stubble orange beard below a bald head. He's got a deep voice. He can seem distant sometimes, usually like surveying everything as a battlefield, struggling with the what's the word here? The undisciplined approach of the party. Giving his party mates a hard time from time to time. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, what up? My name is Richard, or AKA Richard Weber VA in the chat. But I play Farin Desja, or you can call him Des. He likes being called Des. He's a newsie that likes to tell other people's stories. And recently, I guess something appropriate would be he wants to legally represent Keith. Yeah, that's it.
I forgot about that.
Hi, I'm Robert. I play Maxwell. He's an aberrant mind sorcerer. He's a moderately built human standing at 5'10". Now he has a black robe with 5 cool stars in it that he can peel off, cast magic missile at 5th level. And in it, he hides a little penguin pal, Pebble. He looks kind of rugged with sunken eyes, shoulders kind of sagging, and has a nice bushy black mustache with stubble everywhere else on his face. Last session, Maxwell went a little crazy and saw a weird guy, which scared him a bit. And then I saw Corey's face when he was creepily smiling, which scared me even more. So, yeah.
I need to go back and look at that just to see what I was throwing
It
at
was
you.
so scary.
So bad.
It was well done. It was very well done.
Wide open.
Uh,
I must have missed that. You did. Hi, Eric here. I'm playing Orson Turner. First and foremost, he is a master potter, in case anybody hasn't figured that out yet. He's an old man coming into his monk prowess. He likes to be energetic, and he kind of just lives for the adventure. He's rolling with the punches with his newfound motley crew. We'll see what he finds when we get back to some civilization, I guess.
Hey everybody, it's me, Stefan. I'm playing Theo, our half-elf paladin, and just kind of playing this. He's kind of a stoic sort of character, all about justice, all about trying to find all about equality, fairness, and everything. And last session, we learned that I can't roll my way out of a box, so hopefully this session goes a little better.
All right. Well then, diving into tonight's game, previously in Illustera, leaving behind the haunted ruins of Feudgard and the mysterious contact trying to obtain information about Throom's inner workings, our fated few escorted Keith and Lieutenant Alhan's men back toward civilization. After being ambushed by gnolls in the woods, they stopped at another abandoned town on the way. The party reported a small stash of stolen goods to Lieutenant Alhan, who identified the mark as that of the Worth Seekers, a criminal element with a fair amount of activity in Throom. They continued on to the Greasewheel Inn, a day farther away from the mountains, where baths and beds awaited the weary travelers. Although Maxwell's sleep was a bit fitful after seeing, that strange grinning figure on the balcony that no one else in the tavern seemed to notice. So we are going to pick up. You guys slept through the evening. Nothing untoward occurred here in the safety of the Greasewheel Inn. You wake up to the smell of bacon grease and toast. And breakfast seems to be awaiting you, having slept in just a little bit after your long journey here. Calder, since you left a little bit early last time, you are camped out in one of the rooms with Alhan and Keith. The rest of you are spread out among a couple other rooms upstairs.
Des will wake up.
You do so.
What a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I'll just wake up and I assume Theo's in my room. I'm not sure how the bed layout is, but I'll look over the room. Oh, there's Theo. He's probably sound asleep. So I won't disturb him, but I'll hop off my bed and walk happily and joyously towards my breakfast in beds, bats, and beyond. Whatever. That was a mouthful.
I am so confused.
Anyway.
And beyond.
So depending on what time of the morning, if it's dawn, then Theo would be up already, saying his morning prayers and everything like that. Doing his daily devotion to Droom, and preparing himself and preparing for the day, whatever this, because that was the thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Alhan said, no, we're leaving again today. We're not staying to complete a full rest. So we're packing up to go again immediately.
He did propose taking off first thing in the morning. Not in a rush, but not lingering. So short rest for the overnight sleep. You've got food and stuff provided by the tavern and everything, so no need to mark off rations or anything. But he seems eager to get back to town. Maybe a little more comfortable now that you're back in some semblance of civilization.
Maxwell's just gonna wake up a little bit later than he usually does to try to get some rest, get some sleep at least. And he's gonna turn around to Pebble because he always has Pebble sleeping with him. And he's gonna be like, "Did you sleep? Did you get any sleep at all? Or was that just you? I guess I didn't get any."
He kind of just nuzzles into you a little bit. His beady little black eyes are open and staring deeply into yours.
I love him. Maxwell's gonna pet him in his head and give him like a little neck scratch, and he's just gonna say, "Well, just so you can get a little rest, I'm gonna put you away now, okay?" And then I snap my fingers and.
All right. Yeah, he vanishes from sight, leaving just a little black droplet on the blanket next to you that slowly fades away. And yeah, you go down and join everybody else.
Good morning.
I won't leave my room until Alhan and Keith do.
We'll say, having it is around dawn, maybe just a little bit after. There's light coming in the windows here. Both of them are up and moving about here as well.
Did everybody?
Being an old man, would have gotten up early.
Oh yeah, you've been up since like 3.
He was down, drinking coffee or something, down in the.
Did everybody sleep well?
Oh, yes. Much better than out in the wild.
I think there was something wrong on my bed. I'm kind of uncomfy, but I'm not sure.
I went right to sleep.
Oh,
You
yes.
seem to sleep in. Half the day is gone. My God.
Yeah. Just trying to save some hours. Not trying to.
Sun's been up for about 20 minutes.
Jesus. That's half the day for you?
I mean,
I just get my day started like this. Wake up a little bit later. Stay up all night. Been like that.
Yeah, you guys at this early hour, not that it's not tidied, but there's still a little bit of like cleanup and prep and things going on in the tavern. You guys see Ricky, the owner, kind of given orders to to the stable hand that had been outside, who's helping like get tables assembled and put in order and everything. Just kind of like dutiful and quiet and on the side while you guys are getting ready and having breakfast here.
I'd like to ask Ricky if it's possible to get maybe some hardtack or something from him for the road. Just get some extra rations.
See if you can get some flatbread.
Not flat, but we got bread. And I can get you some venison strips. Corin here's been drying some meat out and back. If you're willing to shell out a few coins, I'm happy to share.
I don't think I have a lot of money, but yeah, how much?
He'll whatever rations are in the PHB. I think it's like a gold for a day of food or something like that.
I will take none.
Damn.
I don't know what it is. Whatever it says in the PHB, you can stock up here.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no money.
Oh, I'm rich.
5 silver.
You guys have
5
for one
silver
day.
per day.
Okay, there you go.
I'll buy with my
That's how
4
much?
gold pieces.
5
Wait, how
silver
much?
for a day of food.
Oh, I got 19 silver. We're looking.
I was going to say, none of us grabbed any of the money from. Well, there wasn't really any money.
Oh,
There
I
was
did.
no money in the cave.
I had
Yeah.
a bunch of money.
There was
I have
none that we
nothing.
know about in the cave.
He says, looking sternly into the camera.
I will go off to the side. I'm sorry, what was the innkeeper's name again?
Ricky.
I will go off to the side with Ricky. Let's see. We have 5 people in our party and it's 5 silver a day. So I will give him 2 gold, which I believe is enough for 8 days, yes?
That is enough for 4 meals. So 4 of you for 1 day. It's 10 silver to a gold.
Oh, why? What was I? I was doing the math at 100.
At 20.
If you want 8 days, that's going to be 4 gold. Well, 8. What? How do I say this?
No.
How many days of food do you want for the party? It's 2.5 gold per day to feed the party.
3 days.
Okay, so 7 gold, 5 silver.
Okay.
And you've got bread and venison. You can just add your inventory as rations or whatever.
Okay.
Thank you, Calder, for buying this food.
Where'd you get the
Gonna be
money,
real
son?
yummy.
A lot of time as a mercenary. And then I'm just gonna ignore that.
Interesting.
Did you guys have anything when we came back?
No, but I earned my fair share of money.
And I show him my 4 gold pieces.
Full
That's right. You made bank
Yeah.
last night playing.
playing music is really rewarding.
So everybody
You do that,
can
like,
put
for 100 more days, and you could totally buy one of my cups.
400 gold pieces?
sorry.
I'm a master potter. All right.
Orson, that's expensive. Who buys a pot for 400 gold pieces? I wouldn't. I'm sorry.
A
Mate,
pot. A pot? You want to buy a pot? Oh my god.
how much is a pot? Is it like 600? Is it more?
What kind of glaze do you want on it? What kind of inlays?
Jesus, there's a
What do you want it to
glaze?
look like?
What the-
Do you want it turned or do you want it rolled? How do you want it made?
I don't know, Orson. I don't know anything. I don't know the first thing about pots. Does it look like I know about pots?
I mean, I don't know. You're little. You could get close to the wheel. You wouldn't necessarily need to sit.
So just because I'm small means I know a lot about pots? That doesn't make sense, Orson.
Well, you're
Oh, that's
down
rude.
close to them. You can inspect them. Well,
Sure. Sure.
I thought maybe you read a news article about it.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I did read something out there. I don't know.
Did you come up with any more titles
Headlines?
for the headline for Calder?
No, I didn't. But I don't think Calder heard this one.
Here we go with
I don't think Calder heard this one. But I don't think you get the joke. I have soldier turned philanthropist. The big bad ugly soldier turns out to have a golden heart for the needy. Gives Guccini free of charge. But you don't know what Guccini is. Guccini is those clothes that we found in that abandoned town. That's what we named the clothes.
I completely forgot about that.
There's a group called the Worth Seekers that we believe to be a thieves guild, and they had their symbol on the crate. Is that right, Corey?
That is correct.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was there for that too. Yeah,
But not the title of the article.
Yeah.
I was there
Yeah.
for all that, kid. I must have just went to bed before I heard the Guccini. Look, man,
I'm
you
gonna
say
have to make an
you
NPC
say a
name
lot of
now.
words. you say a lot of words. I'm gonna, as I'm talking, I'm gonna give everybody their 3 rations to hold themselves.
I start eating.
It is you're expecting it'll be per Alhan's info about 3 days to Throom on the road, so that works out pretty perfectly. All right, so as you guys
Calder.
kind of wrap up breakfast, things get tidied up and cleaned up and everything, and the rest of the folks stay in here, start waking up and coming downstairs and everything. Alhan joins you with Keith in tow and his 2 guards. Just comes over to your table and says, boy, nothing like a good bed of feathers after sleeping in the mud.
My bed was huge. It was a nice change of pace.
I bet.
What's wrong with sleeping in the mud?
Nothing's wrong with it, but you don't think a bed's better?
I prefer the soil.
Just because you're a mercenary doesn't make you better than any of us, Calder. Just saying.
Weird.
Not at all. Not at all what I was saying. I just enjoy sleeping under the stars. That's all.
Well, probably not too much of that on the way back. A couple towns between here and Throom we can stay in on the way, though. You're more than welcome to sleep on the side of the road if that suits your fancy. Y'all got your things put together, about ready to hit the road?
Yeah. And now we don't need to buy Calder a room at any inn because he could just sleep outside. It's very cost effective.
Are we?
Can't take what I say too literal here, kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said it. So I figured it was. Never mind.
Alhan, are we hoofing it? We got carts that we can take back from here now.
I think probably
The rest of your crew?
best we just keep walking for now. Most of the horses here are already with outfits heading down or out east. East? Yeah, east toward Belvance.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were a bigger deal. My bad.
Working for a bigger purpose.
Before Maxwell leaves, he's gonna take one quick look at the balcony, see if anything's there.
No, you don't see it stand. You don't see it sitting up there again.
Okay.
All right, you guys, y'all hit the road. Start making your way out and along the road to the northwest. The weather is starting to clear. It's not raining anymore. You've got some a light breeze rolling through that's kind of cleared out all of that cloud cover and everything, leaving you with a pretty nice day, pretty nice travel day in here. The road is uneventful. You see quite a few people passing by, going the other way with loaded wagons and stuff. A lot of military-ish looking folk just kind of making their way southeast, as excuse me, as he mentioned. As you come,
As we pass these wagons,
Yeah.
I want to just like take a quick peek inside, not like, stop and look in a wagon, but like glance at the crates. Do any of the symbols on any of these crates match that of the stolen goods from the Way Watchers?
that's an interesting question. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Good question.
Cool.
Where is? I need to get actually onto my screen.
I
here.
guess I might need glasses.
Pretty hard to say without making it super obvious that you're scoping things out. A lot of crates, a lot of sacks. It's all kind of mishmash together. You don't see anything in particular that catches your eye. None of that stacked coin symbol.
When I was a young orc, we used to play a board game called Crates and Sacks.
What was that board game about? What'd you do? You were just joking? Okay, can't take anything you say literally.
Rates and sex.
Reminds me of the game Shoots and Ladders.
So what's that game about, huh? Something to kill time on the road would be nice.
Well, you're trying to get from point 1 to point 20 or whatever. And there's ladders along the way, and if you hit a shoot, you get sent back down.
Oh, and you can only
A
move like
stack
left
would have
to
to be
right type of thing. It's left, right,
And you
but then
move
you can
forward.
only go
You
up.
move forward on like a board.
Yeah, so you have them in the temples.
Is there like a big monkey at the top throwing barrels down?
What's a
Why would there be a monkey on the top?
There are no monkeys here.
It's on my imagination.
What
It's
is
been a while.
What is that? I've never had a.
We played a similar game in the temple. It was about enlightenment. It was about trying to attain the highest of value.
You'd fall back. You'd hit a
Yes,
demon and you'd fall.
Yes, exactly.
That makes sense, actually.
I like it.
Toward the end of the day, you guys roll into the next town along the road here. Where are we here? So
Or he's like, enough of this shit.
y'all were
on.
here at the Grease Wheel Inn. Just stuff to get through. Next town here along the road is called Cathray, and this is the first one that you've come to that actually feels like a living, breathing town. There's quite a bit of activity seemingly here. You see all kinds of materials staged for construction, like stone and timbers, and people bustling about back and forth, getting orders put together and product coming in from every direction, seemingly. This town seems pretty established. Everything's weathered by storms naturally, but most of the buildings here are stonework and able to resist a lot of that. So you guys are rolling in just around dinner time here, walking on foot. And Alhan, again, being that this is sort of an official journey, will cover your in stay and meals for the night here.
Good lad.
Room company credit card.
Yep. It's good to have. The tavern is filled with blue collary type workers. A lot of kind of dirty and strong looking folk, working type folk here for whatever purpose. And Maxwell, I'm going to call out to you again as you're coming through town. Not even just in the inn this time, as you're walking, as you guys are walking down kind of the main street, passing all of this activity that's just starting to wind down as it comes toward the end of the day here. You see down the road, maybe 50, 100 feet away, another one of these creepy little smiling figures just kind of like standing off to the side of the road, watching people go by. and turns and catches your eye after you stare at it for just a moment.
I'm gonna turn my head away quickly. Hope that it didn't see me staring at it, and then I'm gonna just like kind of bump my elbow to Orson, be like, "Do you see that? That's a smiley guy."
A gentleman smiling. I'm assuming I don't see it.
You
Corey?
do not see it.
No, I don't see any gentlemen smiling. Not sure. No.
I swear, if he turns his head 180 degrees again, I'm gonna run
Like backwards?
like an owl. That's what I'm gonna call them. An owl. I'm gonna call them. That's an owl right there. I see it.
Ooh.
That is what an owl makes. Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Just. Yeah.
That was the most unconvincing yeah ever. Yeah.
All right.
It's just something in the corner of my
Okay.
eyes.
Gives him a pat on the back. Okay.
Onward.
Yeah, you guys.
as we oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
As we stroll into town, I kind of want to. Can I get a moment where like I can pull Dez to the side, away from everybody, just for a second?
Yeah.
Not necessarily like blatantly, but just like at the back of the
All
the
behind.
party walking in.
Help Leo.
Calder's just gonna place his hand on Dez's shoulder and Dez, listen, I know it's your dream and your purpose to write these stories, but I have to ask that you leave me out of them.
Why?
Well, you're making me a little nervous, a little uncomfortable. Let's just say I got some things that I'm not trying to face right now, and I'm worried if you start putting me in the center of these philanthropy stories.
Oh, that's really loud. Sorry.
I have potential that those things catch up to me a little quicker than I want them to.
Well, I totally understand that. But hear me out. People that do good things need to be rewarded for their good acts. So if you do something good, like right here in the headline I've written in my hand, it doesn't say your name. It just says soldier, right? So how are they going to know it's you? Especially if you're already dead. They're going to be like, oh, shoot, Calder, never would have expected him. It's just a great story that can help somebody else and inspire people to do good things like you.
Listen, kid, you got a good point here, but not all good things have to be told. It's about the impact the good things you have do. But if you have to put it in the paper, no names.
No names.
I do got another idea for you, though.
Oh, God, what is it?
Well, we were talking about that game, Sacks and Crates, and it got me thinking if you ever make an entertainment section in your newspaper, I used to play this memory game all the time with my classmates. I'm going on an adventure, and in my sack, my knapsack, I will pack my greatsword, and then the next person goes and says my greatsword and adds an item, and then you go down the line, and everybody keeps that. It'd be a pretty cool game to write about. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
and then
I'll keep note of it, and I'll fake right in my hand.
Obviously deflecting away from the serious conversation he just had, he's just going to turn and walk away now.
I didn't catch any of that because my headset was unplugged.
Oh, perfect.
That actually is
Backholder.
perfect.
He walked away.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh man. Okay, so you guys head on into the inn. Maxwell, there's another one of these things in here just watching people, sitting like on top of one of the ale kegs over near the bar.
I'm gonna take out Pebble, and in Pebble's mind, Pebble is going to hear, "Sorry to wake you up, bud." Whoa, my accent. Sorry to wake you up. Do you see that? The owl is what I'm calling them. Interesting. Okay, you and me both. Unriat, are you there? Can you see that?
You give me a perception check. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not good at that.
Hmm.
Oh, I need glasses too.
You're like trying to focus inward, and find that semblance of whoever Unriat is within you, and you're not really finding him at the moment. Like he's said he's there, but unable to connect with him right in here.
I'm gonna walk up to it.
Okay. You do so. It as you start approaching it, it again sees you and just stares straight at you, just like kicking its feet on the barrel there.
Hi. Your name is. Okay. Would you like a rock that's lit up? I give it to special people.
As you're talking to this keg and pull out this lit rock, the fella behind the bar is just kind of like eyeing you awkwardly while he's cleaning a mug, not interfering, but
Nothing to see here. Nothing. It's just me and my light rock. That's it. And I want to give it to him, to the owl.
You as you reach out to hand it to him, it doesn't really make a motion to receive it. But as you come close to touching it, it like scrabbles up and stands on top of the barrel away from you. And then like hops across the bar and moves away from you a little bit and turns around and just watches you again.
You're scared of me. Interesting.
What are the rest of us doing while he's walking around? Staring?
Whatever you like. Getting
Watching him.
Getting drinks. Alhan's coordinating rooms. Keith's sitting with the soldiers. You guys are in the room and can see him doing this in plain view.
I'm just assuming we're seeing him do this. Guys, he keeps asking me if I see some smiley man. Is he okay?
Max is a very interesting character. I don't understand him just yet, but maybe he sees something, or maybe it's just he's delusional.
Let him cook.
I've seen people coming down hard off of ale, have delusions and think they see stuff. Has he been drinking? I mean, he's over there talking to a barrel.
I haven't seen him drink anything. However, I'll just say that I have checked several times, and Dawn and I cannot detect anything sinister about him or his aura.
Maybe we should turn against
Something
them.
that you. Are we?
If you were to be staring in a corner and talking to someone that wasn't there,
Yes.
If you were to be summoning creatures that were covered in ominous black ooze, yes, I very much would be checking it as often as I could.
Des, I think you're forgetting a point here. You know, turn against him. I'll admit, uh, Maxwell's weird, and his indecisiveness, is driving me crazy. You know, free the prisoner, kill the prisoner, free the prisoner, tackle, whatever. He's all over the map. But I think you're forgetting that we all woke up together, naked, in a room, with no idea how we got there or why.
Time out. Anybody else with us?
Great question. No, at the moment, I described all the other main folks as being off doing things. So no, you're
sorry.
alone for now.
You did do that. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we're all bound together for one reason or another. I don't have answers, as I'm sure none of us do. I'm just as confused as everybody else. But I don't think turning on him's the right answer.
Calder, you can't take everything I say literally.
Oh God, kid! Now you use my words against me.
Anyways,
This is gonna be a long time.
I want to do two things. Is there somebody playing in the bar right now?
No, there is no music in here at the moment. Most of the energy is, pretty physical. There's a lot of physical energy here, but no music.
Does the crowd seem like they could benefit from music?
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Let's see. Who's ready to rock tonight? Oh. Oh.
I mean, doesn't every crowd benefit from music?
Why? I will hold off on that for a second. There are more pressing matters. I will go find Keith.
Okay. He's chilling at the table with the other two guards. Alhan is grabbing a few rounds and bringing them over for him and his two guard buddies.
What's Keith's demeanor? Is he in shackles on this trip? Do they have him tied up, or are they like low key appearance, like just escorting him, but not really letting people know that he's a prisoner?
His hands are bound with rope. He is clearly a prisoner and is never far from at least one of the guards. People seem to be giving them a bit of a berth.
I will go up to it's Alhan, the guard, and then Keith, right?
Yeah, two guards. But yeah.
Gotcha. I'll go up to that table and I'll say, "Excuse me, Lieutenant Alhan and guard number 1 and 2. I need to speak with my client here about legal representation."
Not this again. Okay, like I said, anybody's welcome to speak at the trial. If you've got something to say on behalf of this fella, I'll make sure you know the when of it.
Right, but I need some private time alone. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the legal process, but there's people that hire lawyers, and then those lawyers have private times with their clients, so they could talk about stuff.
In my experience, lawyers aren't found in ruins.
You just don't know what I'm capable of, then. That's it.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh my God.
+5. Ooh. Lower.
He looks at you and says, "Look, we've had a long couple of days of travel. A couple more to go. When we get back to Throom, you can chat with this fellow, assuming Edelin's on board. Deal?"
Who's Edlin? Sorry?
The captain of the Throom Guard.
But if I am to speak with my client, I need to make sure I have 100% certainty that I can speak to him upon arriving to Throom.
I can't guarantee that.
Well, I'll need that guarantee, Lieutenant Alhan, or it has to happen here. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm afraid you're out of luck then, fella. You're welcome to come to Throom with us and sort things out there, but until then, this is my prisoner.
All right. All right.
And under my breath, I'm gonna say, as I'm walking away,
I'll show you all.
That's in red dark.
I love it.
and then I think I'll go up and play music.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You.
Take out his anger on his citern.
Yeah.
Attention, attention. The city or town that's 2 stops away from Throom. I'm here to play you a song. Enjoy.
Bring. I'll just start playing.
All right. You busted out. Everybody. There's a lot of kind of raucous energy in the tavern at the moment. Go ahead and give me your check. Let's see what you do tonight.
Ooh.
Solid. Yeah, you put on a good show. Few people are slow to take up to it. Like there's just kind of music in the background as conversations keep going on. But by the time you finish your first number, you get a round of applause and go into number 2, and you start capturing a little more of the audience each time until people are cheering and drinking and cheersing, and it turns into quite the party tonight. Not too much of a party, but
Horse
As
is gonna
he
get up and do some tumbling while the music's going on. He's so excited. He's gonna do some
my
backflips, some cartwheels.
on the stage.
as this
Yeah,
is going
up there
on,
with Dez, just rocking.
All right, go for it. Give me a
we're
performance
we're
too.
a traveling circus show. Good lord.
Pyrotechnics.
It's Calder's nightmare.
Yeah, 8.
I mean, you're doing the flips and everything, like you're landing them, but the crowd's not here for that.
And I'm big on it.
I'm gonna go over to Theo while this is going on, and I'm just gonna sit down by him. And Theo is. I'm gonna point to Dez. Is he always this energetic and pushy?
As long as I've known him, it's been a wonderful dynamic. I feel like I've calmed him down over the years.
God, I can't imagine him being any more excited.
You don't want to.
I can
Damn.
agree, my friend. I have to ask, how do you two know each other?
Oh, well, we met in Throom. I actually grew up just north of Throom. Had a little farm hovel smaller than this, even my family farm. I went into started going to Throom and took up the teachings of Droom, and there he was on the street corner trying to sell papers, and he was entertaining, and we became friends. I started seeing him more often, and we started talking more often, and I started inviting him to church. I started inviting him to my family's farm, and that was that. I like his youthful energy.
Yeah, I can understand. Friends sometimes are made in the strangest ways. It's with the strangest people. And as I say the strangest people, my eyes are just going to go over to Maxwell.
As I had said before, my family and I owe him our lives. And I would do anything to repay that debt, especially to a very dear friend.
Perhaps a story for another time.
Maxwell is gonna be like, Unriat, you there, buddy? Kind of need you right now.
Maxwell's just wigging out on the side. You do not get a response. You feel this like kind of tickle in the back of your head, like when you're trying to remember the name of something, and it's you know it. It's just not quite there. It's that kind of feeling of it's so close, but it's just not quite coming to you.
I'm going to try to cast Mage Hand behind my back and have the mage Corey stop and have the Mage Hand wiggle its way, and I'm just gonna be staring. I'm gonna stare at one of them.
Okay.
The closest one to me. and I'm gonna have the mage hand try to wiggle its way through, like, between the shoes of people and around them, and just snake up to it and touch it.
Okay, go ahead. You can cast it, no problem. Nobody's really monitoring or worried about that right now. So you cast Mage Hand. Go ahead and give me a. Let's go sleight of hand check.
Okay. Is it good? Oh, natural one.
You
Hangs into people's shoes.
yeah, it like
fall over.
one of the fingers catches on like the loop of somebody's boot and unties it as it moves along, and then, no, it gets up to the thing, and you reach the hand up and try to like grab one of their legs, and it does so. It doesn't seem to mind. It kind of like looks down and sees the hand, and kind of shakes its leg at it a little bit, but doesn't seem bothered by it.
I grab him by the ankle and I start running to him.
Like to touch him with your hands.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. As soon as you approach, it becomes a game of tag, and they split. One goes left, one goes right, one goes up, and like climbs the pillar behind it up like toward the ceiling, and just looks at you creepily as the other two circle around to another part of the room.
So
It's funny.
being that my eyes have darted over to Maxwell in my conversation with Theo, Calder's gonna walk over and just like put his arm around Maxwell. Look, I don't know what you're going through right now, but we're getting a lot of weird looks. You're over here talking to barrels and like running across the room and stuff. Perhaps you should just come sit down, Maxwell.
I was just playing with Pebble. We were playing hide and seek. That's it. I don't know. It's just a penguin and his friend.
I kind of like look over. What's the barkeep doing right now?
Barkeep's keeping an eye on him after that initial reaction, like not stopping it. He's not doing anything wrong. Nothing's breaking.
You're drawing a little bit of unwanted attention to us, my friend.
You guys, with your get-ups, you draw attention at baseline.
Hmm.
I mean, they're
Everybody
just
is
jealous
that-
of my robe. As far as I'm
Des is up there singing. Des is up there singing with that black dragon mask.
I'll be here tonight, guys. I'll be here all night. Thank you.
And Orson's doing backflips and acrobatics.
I think me running around is the least of our worries, frankly. You've got a singing man taking his anger out on a citern, and then a man doing cartwheels inside of a bar. I think I can run around.
Well, Maxwell, maybe I'm not as concerned about how other people feel about you as I am how I feel about you. And you're freaking me out, man.
Well, I don't think I'm concerned at this moment because there's a mystery afoot, and I need to solve it. Maybe-
I'm just gonna go have a seat. Turn around and go sit back by Theo.
Max was just gonna look around at the smiley guys and just give like a little head nod. And he's gonna turn around and sit right next to Calder, but be quiet about it.
Okay. All right, you guys settle in for a minute and go. Yeah, you sit down. I need to pull something up really quick. My memory is failing me here. 7. Okay, you as you're sitting there, you finish up, Des, you finish up your performance on the stage. People are shouting and cheering. One fella with a mug raises a toast and says like, "Woo, Dragon Man!" and brings you over, grabs another glass off of his table, like away from one of his buddies, and brings it over and offers it to you as you're coming off the stage there.
I'll grab it
Yeah, that's me, Dragon Man.
and I'll just try to chug it in
Yeah.
front of him.
Yeah, he cheers as you, finishes his own drink as well. It's just like we really could use a good pick me up here. It's been a quiet couple of days around town.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm only here for tonight, though. So if you have any special requests, I might be able to fit it in between now and 12 p.m. That's usually my bedtime. But I'll be here.
Do you know the lady in the mountain?
How does that one go? I think I do.
It's like a bow now bow 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 bow.
Lady in the mountain. I know that one. Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, he puts a silver in your hand, and just kind of looks
Thank you,
expectantly at you.
Thank you for a silver. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind, I'm really tired though, so I'm gonna. I'm kidding. I'll play for you. All right, let's go.
All right.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Lady in the mountain.
You get back up on stage. Orson, the fella, like not taking his eyes off it, kind of comes over to you as you're coming off on the side and just elbows you and goes, "Where'd you find this guy?"
In a cave.
in a cave. He puts a hand on your shoulder, laughing, and looks at you, and then just kind of stops.
Yeah.
Grandpa? You're here?
Yeah. Here?
It's Ellard. He's the fella standing before you is probably around 50, somewhere thereabouts. When you last saw him, he was quite a bit younger, like maybe 30 or so, somewhere around there. Your grandson, your eldest son's son, Adel.
Adel.
We're having a drink, and he just kind of does that, like that grip on your shoulder, like he's so happy to see you, and walks over to the bar, kind of stunned for a second, and orders a couple rounds.
Ellard. It's been so long.
Where'd you go? You just left one day.
Well, sorry about that. I needed to adventure. I needed to see the world. After I lost her, I just couldn't stay anymore. So many years with her, alone, and just always yearned for something more. And I had to go see the world. I did. I saw much.
I mean, we all kind of left after that.
The family's scattered.
Around, yeah. Some of them are close.
How's your father? Is he still making pots?
Pa passed a couple years ago. Was just natural, peaceful at home in his bed. But he was 77. He's getting up there.
That's somewhat old.
How are you still alive? You don't look like you've aged a day.
Did you get any word of me while I was gone?
No.
No, the family doesn't know.
I don't know if any of the others did, but I certainly didn't.
I don't know. I was with a caravan, and there was a storm. And I ran out to help put the rods in so that we wouldn't get hit by a storm, and then just nothing, just white for a while. I woke up in a cave with the dragon mask guy. And others.
What, did he save you or something?
I don't know. I was making my way back to Throom with the rest of these people that I met. Is anyone still there? Is the shop still there?
Adel's, yeah, I think his shop's still there.
Did Tor take over, or anyone?
Tor joined the army several years ago.
The army.
I think he's down south in Belvance.
Makes sense.
Now the shop's still there. Like Georgie's still in Throom. I don't think they took over. I've been building walls and trying to help rebuild towns as I could after everything that's happened recently. But I don't have
Noble.
I don't have your delicate hands.
Yeah, I know. I was quite gifted. I wonder where everybody's getting their porcelain now.
I can't believe you're here.
I love that. That's Orson's biggest concern. Who's making the porcelain now?
I can't believe that you're here.
Oh my God, we got to get everyone together. We gotta tell everybody.
Well, yeah, I would love to see them. I was wondering. So Adel's gone. He was the eldest. What about my other 5?
Cecil's still alive, I think. She's in Throom.
Okay.
Helmet, he got taken out by a flood about 10 or 12 years ago. Yeah, that one was sudden.
Yes.
Rolf's okay. I think he's out on the coast. Bethany, she joined the fight against Kardok. We haven't seen her in 4 or 5 years. Don't know if she got captured or what.
And my youngest?
Wilda's all right. She's in Throom too, I think. A lot of us never really left after we vacated Belvance.
All right. I'm very excited to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Sad though. 2 of my sons gone.
It's been almost 20 years, Grandpa.
I learned that recently. 20 years is a long time.
I can't wait to hear all your stories.
I'll do my best.
And he will spend the rest of the night listening to you and talking your ear off, if you will let him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything anybody else wants to dig into tonight here?
Especially.
I'm just going to make sure that I stay always within eye shot of Alhan and Keith, making sure that for me, if the prisoners lay a foul hand on him, there will be words.
Sure.
If there's not, then it's just observation and...
Give me an insight check.
Oh, Whoa. Whoa.
The closer you get to Throom, the more relaxed Alhan seems to get. Not that he's, letting Keith out of his sight or anything. He's still not buying him beers. But he's like not as nervous as he was before.
Okay. One other thing. In looking at my my newfound friends, my party members, my fated few, your fated few, excuse me. Do they appear to partake in the merrymaking of the night? Are they consuming alcoholic beverages, etc.?
Yeah.
Maxwell is.
So would be drinking with whatever Adel's doing. Not Adel, I'm sorry.
Theo wouldn't
Elliot.
be.
Theo
Yeah.
wouldn't be?
Not
Okay.
not drinking or anything like that. Like, when Dez is playing or whatever, he'd be like tapping the table and beat and everything like that. Like, trying to, anything that Dez would play that he would know, he would be singing along with and everything like that. But no, for the most part, he's just kind of off in his own world, kind of off in his own like thoughts and what have you.
Okay.
What was the name of this town, Corey?
Cathray,
Cath Ray. Thank you.
as in cathode ray tube. It's for us old folks.
Cathode Ray tube. Guess
I did not that in chemistry.
All right, you guys sleep through the night. No attacks of any sort. Maxwell, fortunately, the things do eventually leave you alone so that you can sleep. But there are more of them here than there were before, which strikes you as odd. Orson, you talk late into the night with Ellard. Tells you about the family, what folks have been doing. What he's been doing, his work. Talks to you about some of the buildings he's repaired and built, and reminisces about old times from years ago before you left. You talk about your late wife and memories and everything. It's quite a deep reunion, I guess.
What is Ellard doing in this town outside of Throom?
Ellard is here, I guess. You would absolutely share this. He's part of a crew that's being commissioned to rebuild the fort in the hills. There's, I guess, an outpost or something in the hills southwest of town here that they are diverting resources to fix. So he's one of several masons and carpenters and all kinds of things that are here to rebuild that. Although he's heard that there have been problems at the fort. Some folks have not come back as they should have. The guards that are keeping an eye on the site have been kind of hush-hush about it, but there's rumor that there's something wrong there. And you guys awaken in the morning. Head down for breakfast and meet again the next day, much as the day before. Is there anything you want to accomplish here before you set out again?
I'm scoping the area for any more owls.
They are around. Over your time in the city, you never see more than 3 of them at a time. But they keep their distance and watch and are just waiting and watching you and watching all the people passing by.
So we'll just find out from Ellard where he might be able to find Wilda in the room.
Absolutely. Wilda is, let's see. Wilda is on the street. So Cecil and her daughter Georgie, and her daughter, Georgina too, all live together on a street on kind of the outskirts of town a little bit, a little past and behind the Sunspire. Wilda lives down that street, just a couple blocks or so.
Thank you again, Lieutenant Alhan, for paying for this breakfast. I really appreciate it. Despite our differences, and despite the fact that we don't see eye to eye, it's a yummy breakfast.
Well, it's nice to see a bit of gratitude in the younger generation. I do also appreciate everything you've done to help bring this criminal to justice. Sorry, alleged criminal.
Remember my acts of kindness towards you in court.
Won't be me sitting in the judge's seat. You guys head out for day, what is this? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, day 5 on the road, toward the next little village that sits just outside Throom proper. And as you get here, again, the weather is clear, beautiful, just a light breeze kind of carrying through. It's like, for being this early into springtime, it's like unusually pleasant here. And that only continues the farther you get as you get toward Throom. And you start getting toward the outskirts of all the farmland that surrounds the city. And it's no longer wilderness and dusty roads. You're passing by farmsteads and wheat fields and chicken coops. So many chicken coops. Theo, you know that your family's farm is off to the north a little bit, kind of close to the mountains. It's a little out of the way. Probably about a half a day total from Throom. You've made that journey a number of times and can almost walk it in your sleep. So if you wanted to branch off, you're at about that perpendicular point here, or you can continue on with everyone toward Throom and go visit later as you please.
Well, because he said it's kind of spring and everything like that, so this time of year would be, planting and sowing and all that jazz and everything. And once we get done with the business in Throom, I would like to stop by my family farmstead afterwards. Don't wish to delay Alhan any further. My parents will understand.
I doubt Alhan would wait for us if we departed now. And, I don't know, I suppose it is our duty to make sure Keith finds justice, whether that's at the end of a rope or not.
He kind of hangs his head a little bit at the prospect.
It's not. I look at Keith. Don't worry, I'm representing you. You have the best lawyer in all of Illustera.
He kind of smirks at it, but remains grimly silent.
Hey, Des, did you know that? Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, did you know I'm the best mime in all of Illustera? Just started today.
So great, Calder. Wow.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I'm just going to... I'll just keep heading towards Throom with everybody.
Okay, you guys make your way into the gates. As you approach the city, it looms on the horizon. It's built, there's a large wall that kind of cordons it off into this back bunker against the mountain. The stonework of the wall, for the most part, is exquisite. It's sharp, a lot of sharp angles and square edges, and beautifully carved, except for where it's been damaged from attacks from who knows what. There are bits of the wall that have crumbled and have been rebuilt with nowhere near the precision or finery that clearly the original builders provided. You know what? What are y'all's let's see. Des, you you definitely know. Thrum was originally built by a dwarven group sometime in the distant past. Clearly, that's not the case here. There aren't nearly as many dwarves now, and the ruling council is human. But that's probably where all of this craftsmanship comes from. So you step through the large gates through the portcullis into the main courtyard that presents at the front of the city here. Des, this is where you fell. Maybe not fell. Were pushed.
Pushed and trampled.
Mm-hmm. Alhan explains briefly to the guards at the gate that they're returning with a prisoner. You all have helped with them and are to enter the city with him. They don't seem to question it and kind of give you guys a lot of weird looks with all the crazy garb and everything. Yeah, you head on in. Are you following him until he makes this prisoner transfer?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'll look at the spot where I died, or where I imagine I died, and I'll just imagine like a white chalk line around it. And I'll just look at it like kind of funnily. And yeah.
How long do you look at it?
For maybe 5 seconds.
Like noticeably?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say Theo would probably be watching that and everything like that, and he comes over and just puts a hand on your shoulder and just stands there with you for a moment.
I'll acknowledge Theo
Mm-hmm.
wordlessly.
Nods and yes, and I was just going to mention too, Theo would want to see the prisoner transfer first before doing anything else, because essentially, if we're going to be if Des is going to be representing him, then we should probably make sure that we have a proper clearance ahead of time before we try to make any contacts in Thrum.
Sure.
And try to figure out what we've missed.
Theo, I've got a question for you as well.
Yes.
You were clearly informed of Dez's passing. I think that information probably would have come to you from Vikram Thule at Droom's temple. Would you have buried him here? Would you have returned his body to his family in Medrin up north? Would you have been involved in any way with that?
He definitely would have if he was able to. And oh gosh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Because they haven't really hammered out a whole bunch of like his family details and everything like that. But I think that essentially, not to sidetrack too far, but I think that what Theo would basically do is he would have sent a message to Dez's family, like, as quick, as swiftly as possible, to be like, do you want his remains brought back home? Do you want us to would you rather us bury him here and everything? Because correct me if I'm wrong, Richard. I don't see Des talking about his family and his home life too much and everything, even though they were like hanging out for all that time and everything. It's like one of those like conversations that, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as like, oh no, yeah, here's my family plot of land and like, here's our crypt and everything like that I was returned to my ancestors. I don't think that would have ever come up in any of the conversations, but but basically that's what Theo would have done, was been like, you let me know what needs to happen and I'll make it happen, kind of thing. And, he would have even tried to like vie for like, oh no, he needs a statue to be remembered by. And then that would have been shot down. It's like, no, we don't need the statue. We don't need a tripping hazard in the middle of the walkway.
Des, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll say conversations we've had in the past for sure are like I don't talk about my family, but it's not that they've never been brought up. It's that if they ever do get brought up, it's just like, oh yeah, I have a mom and dad. Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So with that, then Theo, I'd say at the time when you sent the message to them, they arrived in the city like a couple weeks later to collect Dez, to collect his body, and took it home with them.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, just a second. Okay.
Was anybody else just strongly considering like grave robbing to see if his body was still there or like what the?
Jesus.
Oh.
Des Prime died here.
Des Prime.
We've already seen our dead bodies. I mean,
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
We did our dead bodies after we died
God.
outside of our original deaths. So I'm curious about our original bodies.
We'll have to find those at some point.
Maxwell will
good.
never see his.
good luck.
his
I was gonna say Theo's would have been buried here.
Oh,
Or
that's
on
true.
the farm. On the farm, maybe.
Nah, he would have been buried here. He would have been buried in Throom, like in the
Some
The
sort of
church.
crypt.
like cemetery.
Cemetery,
Like the church
yeah.
cemetery.
I can't remember how Theo died.
Yeah,
He's
Shanked in the
stabbed.
back alley.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
bandits or thugs.
Yep.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Trying to
That's
do
Which
the right thing.
if we do pass by that area and everything, Theo would go ahead and do the same thing that Des did. Like if our path happens to follow along the alleyway and everything like that, he would just say like one moment and go.
Sure.
You know,
Everybody was trying to do the right thing when they died.
basically trying to align. He would try to align himself exactly where he was standing when he like lost consciousness and trying to like, just trying to connect it again and
Sure.
but
Okay, well, let's pause that for just a second. I'm sure we're gonna get to it in a minute. I'm sure. We'll go. So you guys you continue entering the city and walking through the various various alleyways and streets and everything, making your way kind of uphill along the switchbacking streets up toward the primary guardhouse and jail, where Alhan takes Keef, flanked by both of his soldiers up there. You are allowed to enter, and as you do, it looks exactly as you'd expect it would. There are a couple guards off duty on the side, and Alhan makes his way, leaves Keith there with the soldiers, and makes his way into the back and closes the door behind him. Minute or two later, he comes out with a woman clad in shining silver armor. Des, it feels like it's only been a few days since you last saw this woman coming off of the wall, trying to convince her to open the gates to let the people in. She comes out with Alhan leading the way and says, Captain, we, as requested, were able to obtain the escapee, Keith Ratley, confirmed that he had stolen, by his own admission, the things that were found missing. These few here were of great aid in ensuring that he is brought to justice, and should be compensated as such.
What's her name again?
Her name is Captain Evelyn Banks.
So, and I would know that. We were just... Was she announced?
Yeah, we'll say Alhan introduces you. Captain, these five I found in the ruins of Feudgard. You five, President Captain Edelyn Banks of the Throom Guard. And he kind of steps off to the side at ease.
I'm going to step forward. Calder's going to step forward. Captain, I'm all for justice. And I'm all for if this man, Keith, has done something wrong, that he finds the end of a rope. What I'm not for is people being treated like animals. And I feel it's my duty to inform you that while this prisoner was in the custody of Lieutenant Alhan and your guards, they really beat the shit out of him whenever they wanted to. They kicked him, they barely fed him, they refused me from feeding him, which of course I did anyway. I believe Throom stands for more than just justice, and it should treat her prisoners with dignity. And then I'm gonna slightly bow to her.
She turns a stern gaze over to Alhan, who, without breaking his front facing view, without like returning her gaze, says, "Ma'am, we were short on food. Supplies had to be rationed. We had no idea who these people were. At the time, it was a judgment call, and it was the best one I could make." And she kind of slowly turns her gaze back to you. I appreciate the report. It's important that all are held to the high standards that all of Throom should be held to. Prisoner or no, they deserve respect. And I agree with you, justice is of the utmost, and it will be found. So I would like to thank you personally for your contributions.
I will slightly bow to her. Thank you for your understanding. I'm then going to reach an arm out towards Alhan for like a handshake, essentially.
Mhm.
Does he reach back?
Yes, he does reach back. He does reach back and take your hand, and just a stiff the one pump, like, I hear you.
As he does that, I'm going to look at him and I'm just going to say, I apologize, Alhan, for throwing you under the wagon wheel, though may it be a lesson in how people should be treated. And I'm then just going to step away.
Edelyn, you catch on out of the side of your eye just a tiny little smirk on the side of her face.
Des will step forward. Well, Captain Adeline, you might recognize me. We're not here just for. Oh yeah, sorry. Do you recognize me now?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, we've met.
I was the one that helped you raise the gate. Or when Cardock was closing in and people were outside, I was like, "Hey, open the gate."
Her eyes kind of go wide, surprised for a second. She's like, I thought you were dead."
Nope.
You recovered?
I still had a fighting spirit in me.
That's quite incredible. You are a very, very lucky person.
Actually, I consider myself very skilled.
I mean, your arms were at crazy angles.
Right. I consider myself very skilled. And something I'm very skilled at is being a lawyer. So I was wondering if it will be possible. I mean, we're talking about the treatment of respect towards people that are in the room, and everybody being ensured of fair treatment. And I wanted to make sure if that Keith here, your prisoner, could be represented legally by me and my adventuring crew.
I'm not sure how much representing is. It's just him.
Nope.
I'm gonna lean forward as he finishes that, and I'm just gonna go, I can give a factual accounting of what I saw happen. Aside from that, I want no part in this.
Yeah, witnesses are important.
She goes, from my understanding, there's not much testimony required. By his own admission, he stole the keys, created the map, and intended to turn them over to an enemy of the state. That's treason by definition.
But I don't think he necessarily needs to be charged with the death penalty, because there are also other factors involved that you may not be aware of, and I think it's important for other people to be aware of those factors.
It's complicated, in short.
It's a very nuanced situation.
Enlighten me.
Right now, right here?
Yeah. Yeah, right now.
Sure thing. I will pull out my hand, and I'll look at it, referring to notes.
Where was it?
It's my hand.
No, where are you pulling it out from?
It was in my mouth. I don't know.
No, that's where your foot is.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I wanted to make sure. I want to make sure his story was told, and by his account and by his side of the story, he was essentially blackmailed to help the enemy of the state in delivering these treacherous documents, or because if he wasn't successful in delivering them, his family would then be killed.
So you're saying he acted entirely under duress?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's a perfect word for it.
Coercion, not blackmail.
Sorry, I don't have a dictionary on me.
Well, Des, I hate to rain on your political parade here, but I think it's important, Captain, that you know, after he had been captured by the guards, when he had every chance to come forward and say that he had performed under duress and every chance to try and reclaim his own dignity, he did attempt to murder a guard to escape, and that I feel he must atone for.
Murder is strong. He stabbed him and ran away. I mean, he didn't stab him.
He injured him. That's all that happened.
The guard was near dead by the time we arrived. We had to perform healing medical treatments to keep him from perishing.
She cuts you off. Alhan, where were you when this happened?
That's what I'm saying.
He says, he kind of stammers for a second. I acquired information about where the keys were and had gone to retrieve them. We left one guard on duty with a bound prisoner. It seemed prudent at the time. We were overcome by horrors in the ruins.
That's true.
Captain,
Yeah.
well, it's not my place to tell you how to deal with your subordinates. I do feel it pertinent to say, aside from Alhan and the other guards' treatment of the prisoner, he is of sound decision-making in the field. I witnessed him to be of sound decision-making in the field.
Well, I'd like to consider myself completely in the place to talk bad about your lieutenant. He mistreated your prisoner. They trapped themselves willingly inside a shack for 3 days in Feud Guard ruins with their prisoner, knowing they were limited in rations and water. Barely, like Calder said, starving their prisoner. And my group of adventurers luckily stumbled by on a chance encounter and easily overcame the couple of zombies that were surrounding the building. Now, if this lieutenant that Thrum trusts with confidential matters, Lieutenant Alhan, is clearly incapable of executing his tasks, how are we to trust Lieutenant Alhan and the people that put this imposter in charge to be trusted in handling matters of utmost importance to Thrum, like intel?
Man,
Theo is going to go ahead. Okay, real quick. I'm sorry. Theo is going to go ahead and put a hand on Des, and he's going to start Des, just a little bit.
I have a point. I have a point here because this prisoner, Keith, clearly has information to what the other side is. And if we're mistreating him and we want to kill this guy, how are we going to know who our enemy is? What's to say the enemy is just going to go put another poor soul under duress? What if you, Captain, were put under duress? What would you do?
Ma'am, it is inappropriate that that civilians be what am I trying to say? Be involved to this level with this kind of an investigation. This matter should be taken up privately. I'd be happy to speak further. And she kind of silences him for a second and says, "Lieutenant, you have done your duty admirably, and you will be commended for it. You're dismissed. Guards, place Keith in a cell."
As that happens, Calder does want to just lean forward really quick because Des just said a bunch of really bad stuff about Throom and the corrupt people who put Alhan in charge. I'm just gonna lean in and I'm just gonna go, I just want to clarify when this little one says my adventuring party. Yeah, no, not me. We're just traveling together. We're just traveling together.
I'm just a potter.
Now, I would be happy to take up more of your time in a private sector instead of out here on the street. But I'd also like to say Lieutenant Alhan didn't stop us from understanding the whole situation at large. So you should put a better check on who you enlist to the matters of Thrum.
Just from the second death of Des. Right?
Theo again is going to start pulling Des back. Des, let's tone it back just a smidge.
Speaking
Well, I'm
of
sorry,
putting checks,
I'm just speaking the truth.
speaking of checks needed,
I'm gonna whisper to Des in his head. Relax now, buddy. I think maybe talking's not your strong suit.
you five
Stick to writing.
join me in my office. And she walks back behind the counter into the room that she came out of previously and just leaves the door open as she goes in.
I will
walk in
joyfully.
Close
I'm
the
gonna
door.
walk in last, and as I do, I'm just gonna look around. Is anyone following us in or coming over to the door as we close it?
There were a couple of guards that were going to come in with you, but when she said close the door, they stop and wait outside.
Okay.
As soon as I walk in and the door closes, did you say that the door closes?
Yes,
Or-
she asks Calder to close the door behind him.
I am going to say, I'm going to reach my hand out and I'm going to say, I have information that may or may not implicate the Worth Seekers. And in order to receive it, I want to make a deal. This information for, in exchange for not executing Keith.
You said, or Alhan said, that this man, Keith, was attempting to deliver information to somebody outside of the city. You believe that to be the worst, someone representing the Worth Seekers?
Do we have a deal?
I can't promise anything until I know what you're going to say, but if it leads to the dismantling of an organization like that within Thrum, I will do everything in my power to ensure that Keith is provided a more lenient sentence than death.
Okay. So yes, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Keith was transporting, he tried to pass on a map. I don't know what it contains. A couple of keys, and then an orb. I asked him why he needed the map. I asked him why he needed the orb and why he needed the keys, and he didn't know. He said that he and I'm doing like quotation, air quotes. He needed them, and I'm not sure who he is, but we did see a shadowy figure communicating with Keith, and paired with the crate that I'm not sure if Alhan has told you yet, but we found a crate with the Worth Seekers symbol on it right outside in another ruin.
Oh, yeah, by the way, what did you guys do with that? You've been dragging it around with you.
We gave it away. No,
Alder still has it.
I think Alder's got
We
that.
walked all the way to Throom with it.
oh, and
You said-
Alhan.
You had a
Alhan
gurney
has
with like a
members.
4-foot crate on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Right.
Is that like outside the guard's door right now?
That's the crate right outside, and Alhan basically told us that without being able to know who the furs were stolen from, we were going to distribute the clothes to the those in need in Throom.
That's a beautiful hat.
It's Guccini if you're not aware.
That's
You're
very
genie.
very generous. Are you all from Throom?
Well, I'm not from, but
Nearby.
I used to be a resident of Thrum.
There's a fellow here who does quite a bit of charitable work with the poor. He tends to congregate near the Stormcaller Temple. Goes by the name of Vadius. You probably should seek him out. He'll be a good person to help distribute things to those in need.
Thaddeus.
Yes.
All right.
If you'll all excuse me, I think I'd like to get some fresh air. I'll catch up with you later. And I'm going to stand up, and even if they try to protest, I'm going to depart.
Okay.
And I'm going to grab that crate and start going straight for the Stormcaller Temple.
Okay, we'll get to you in a few then.
Yep.
Okay, so Maxwell, your comments about the connection to the Worth Seekers and everything. Sorry, that derailed the conversation a little bit. So you found this crate.
And Jules.
Alhan hasn't mentioned either of these to me yet, but honestly, stolen property is a little beneath my pay grade, as it were.
There's a lot of jewels.
What specifically makes you think that this individual is from the Worth Seekers?
I can tell you that I can't confirm or deny anything, but as far as I'm concerned, because I'm not from here, the Worth Seekers is a large bandit organization, and they cause a lot of damage.
It's very accurate.
You're looking to take them down, right? They're probably looking to take you down too. It works both ways. We don't know what the orb does. I don't know what's in the map. Alhan is the map, I believe. And the keys are for something, for some door. That's obviously important. Combined with the fact that Keith's family was threatened, the figure came up to him and told him that if he didn't collect these 3 items and drop it off at a certain location, then he or his family would meet their end. And so I'm assuming, since it's a large crime organization, that they're probably behind this, or they're more likely to be behind this because they have so many members, and they have power.
It's possible.
And this shadowy figure that we saw was extremely hard to catch. We had to give up. And he could... It seemed like he came out of the water or something. Like, when I saw him, he was drenched. And apparently...
Waterfall.
Yeah. and apparently, he listened into my entire conversation. With him, with Keith. Because I was trying to lure the figure out. And yeah, he has a wife named Georgina and boy and a girl. And I just ask that they're protected and he's protected, because as soon as this person finds out that Keith is in prison and they caught him and so, his family's gonna get it, and I don't want.
Sorry.
From everything you've said, the connection to the Worth Seekers, while possible, seems circumstantial at this point, at least. There's certainly nothing directly tying the two together. I agree that his family should be... It should be put on guard. Although...
If I may, did we ever find out, like did we find out where, what, did his family live in Throom?
They did, yeah. Yeah, you got their address.
Did or do?
What did or do? Oh, do live in Throom. Keith was, upon delivery of these goods, he was supposed to get funds and have he and his family smuggled out of the city, essentially, since he was a traitor. They were going to be relocated by whoever that figure was.
I know of a place where they might be safe for a short time.
That's good. That'd be wonderful. If you're interested in taking up any extracurricular work to chase this down, while it affects Throom, if it is the Worth Seekers, it's within the city and it's city business. But if it's elsewhere, if it takes everyone to Feudgard or into the wilds, that's more challenging to allocate resources for. You understand, with everything going on down at the river. At the border. Would you be interested in becoming deputies of a sort?
Can you call us detectives?
You're certainly dressed for the part.
I need to speak myself. I am not ready to commit to that yet. I need to speak to the Vikram first.
Of course. Well, this is not a matter that's going to solve itself overnight. Come back if and when you decide you would like to look into this further.
Yeah, there's some things I need to do. I've been away for about 20 years, so chickens.
Lots changed.
Things.
Okay,
So
if there's nothing further, then
I just can't get out of my head.
Talk of compensation for helping.
Ah, yes, of course.
Oh, his family's gonna get it.
Don't have much coin to our name.
She goes into her drawer, pulls out a small little lockbox, key out of a pocket, opens it up, and offers each of you 30 gold pieces.
Woo!
And 30 for your friend. This is a sensitive matter that you've done a great service to Throom.
Everybody's okay with it. Theo would be happy to give Calder's 30 gold to him when he sees him next.
Absolutely. You're a trustworthy man.
Just have to swing by the temple first and make sure that he tithes as much as I do.
Maxwell's gonna reach out his hand or his finger again. He's gonna be like, "Anything for the penguin?" No.
You didn't have the penguin, did you? I thought he was invisible.
I just show her my penguin.
Wow.
You snap it back into existence.
Yeah.
There's some innuendos going on here.
It pops in with a slightly oily splat onto the corner of her desk, and she kind of is taken aback by it for a second. She's like, I'm afraid I don't have anything for a penguin.
He'll take gold.
There are plenty of. I'm sure you'll find some quality pet stores around the room.
I don't think that's very fair to him. His name is Pebble, and he was a scout for our group. He provided very useful intel for us.
Okay.
It was the only reason why we caught Keith, actually.
We don't pay the dogs that we keep.
He was not a dog. I'm sorry. If you throw out somebody as a scout, they're a scout, right? They're not a dog. They're a scout.
Well,
And he happened to be one.
Dog scout.
Since your friend was so quick to leave, give the penguin half of his share.
Theo's already saying good day and walking out the door.
I'm following it.
I'm gonna.
We'll be, and he basically does say, he's like, yes, we will be in touch once there's a lot that we need to learn before we can, but I will be in touch. Thank you.
We have some time. Keith won't be tried immediately, but that will be on the docket for probably sometime in the next couple weeks.
You need us to testify or anything?
I've taken your statements. Alhan has given his. I think we have everything we need at this point, unless you come
perfect.
across new information.
Absolutely.
All I'm saying is, if you find his family dead, he was probably acting under duress.
Actually, that's a good point. Like, where is his? Do you know where his family resides?
No.
I do.
You said you were going to take them someplace safe, yes?
That's what I'm saying. Is like, do we know where his family is?
Yes,
Actually,
you-
no.
You,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
did get where their house was. Yeah, it was
Okay,
like
perfect. Sorry.
it was like next to the Sunspire.
10 minutes away from Sunspire.
Everything's by the Sunspire.
Well, it was
Okay.
nice to re-meet you, Captain. And I'm glad we re-met in more favorable circumstances.
I'm glad we re-met at all. You're a tenacious little fellow.
Despite my height. I know.
All right,
I'm
you
on
guys.
39.
You guys head outside. The crate of furs is gone, as is Calder.
I kind of bow
go?
to the.
I wonder
to
where
her
it went.
before we leave.
Where did Coulter go?
Where are the four of you heading next before we dive into Calder?
I'm heading to a general store.
I'm headed towards streets that I used to be a newsie on.
Okay.
Down memory lane.
Seeing if anybody is like a newsie, if anybody replaced me. And then I'm also gonna, like, on my way towards the Thrum Herald.
I'm gonna try to find Adel's shop, and if I can't do that, I'm going to go find my daughter.
Okay.
Wildy.
Theo is going to head to the temple. He's going to head to the temple of Droom. And
Stopping at the alley on the way.
stop at the alley on the way and everything, and but that's his ultimate destination and everything like that.
Okay.
For,
I did travel with Max, while he's going to the general store, that kind of stuff too. If he'd like to travel with Orson as opposed to completely being alone.
Yep.
Since he doesn't go through him at all.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Any general shopping you want to do, you can do so. If it's in the book, you can buy it.
I don't know if I can buy this.
Just to be clear, Dawnbreaker's in the book. I'm just kidding.
Wrong.
You can try and buy it.
The other book.
He said general store, general shop.
I mean, how much is Dawnbringer? You got 100,000 gold laying around.
I'm going to. Max is trying to look for a cigar or a pipe that he can get hands on, and something. I actually doesn't need anything light. He has fireball.
That seems dangerous.
Maxwell never has eyebrows or eyelashes because of how he lights his cigarette.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know if a pipe or something similar is in the PHB.
Yeah.
If it's not, I guess I'd say probably a silver a day for tobacco, and maybe call it a gold for a pipe, for like a good quality pipe.
I'll do a gold, but don't I have to buy things that go in the pipe, or do I just like bundle up leaves?
Buying tobacco and leaves and whatever else you're putting into smoke.
I see.
Yeah.
So I'll get 10 days.
Cool. So 2 gold total.
2 gold.
Okay. Calder, we will come to you next then, I guess. So you, as you're making your way through the city, you haven't been to Thrum before. So you're kind of like asking directions on the way, trying to figure out where you're going. And when you ask where the Stormcaller Temple is, people kind of laugh at you a little bit, and they turn around and point at this this giant lightning rod of a spire poking out of the top of a building a ways down into town. It dwarfs everything around it. Like it's comically large. It's like Sears Tower level. Not that tall, but like that level of impression on the skyline kind of thing. Yeah, and there's just the faintest little bit of like shimmer to it, almost like there's like an energy crackling in the spire a little bit. So with that as your beacon, you rush through the streets, dragging this crate around, and head straight to its front steps. Beautiful.
I actually want to stop.
Okay.
Like a block away, eye distance away, for a few reasons. But is there movement?
Like people?
Yes. Does it look busy?
Yes, it looks very busy. There is probably a service or something about to begin, based on the number of people flocking into the building right now. There are a couple other structures that look kind of like community hubs, maybe like a tailor shop or like a soup kitchen or some other little kind of like pseudo commercial buildings around the temple as well, that a few people are milling in and out of.
Do I see him?
As you are making your way through the crowd, you do see, as you pass by one of these buildings, it's got the awning opened up and staked with like a tent hanging out over the front section, and there is an elderly gentleman that is ladling a stew or food or something like that into bowls for people that are filtering around the corner. And as you stop and look at him, this is definitely your mentor. It's been a few years, and the years have been hard on him, but there's no mistaking who this is.
Okay. With this service about to begin, does it look like he's going to head in for the service or not?
Hard to say. He seems pretty busy. He's still got a bit of a line to tend to. If you had to wager a guess, you'd say no.
Okay. I'm going to, staying a good distance away, I'm going to pull the cart or the crate to a spot where I can sit on it, and I'm just going to watch until the line dwindles down to its last customer. And with that, what does Vadius appear to be doing?
So you sit and wait maybe 20 minutes or so until this wraps up. Looks like the end of dinner service or whatever this is. By now, the doors to the temple have closed behind the congregants. You can hear a little bit of music filtering out through the stained glass walls, and he's just working in the line. As soon as the last person goes away, he disappears behind the counter, like carrying the pot of stew back into the building. Reappears there 30 seconds, a minute later, starts like wiping up the counter. After he's done with that, he comes around and out the front of the house and starts taking down the posts and starts putting away the awning to close up the front of this little shop here.
Okay, so as he does that, I'm going to drag the cart. I want to stay kind of like out of his view as I do this.
Mhm.
I want to drag the crate over to like the side of where he's at. And I want to if I can kind of sneak up on the side and pull one of the posts out. So when he turns to face me, I just like hand it to him. And as I hand it to him, I'm just going to say, "It's good to see you, old man."
He turns and is kind of surprised that there's somebody there for just a second. You, despite your bulk, takes the post and looks up at you and just smiles. I knew I'd see you again.
I'm gonna immediately go in for a hug.
Oh yeah, big embrace. His arms don't even connect around your thick chest.
Right. Okay.
He puts a hand on your cheek. Just kind of shakes your face for a second. I guess it'd be more like up here. He's a bit of a bent old man. Just says, I told you. You didn't believe me, but I told you.
Thaddeus, so much has happened. The fact that I'm standing here today is... there's so much to talk about. If this is not Viari's grace, I don't know what is.
The water always runs home. Just as everybody who is truly on the path of redemption does.
Is there some place we could speak in private?
Of course. He finishes closing up the front of the shop with your help. Goes inside, and as you walk in,
I'm gonna take the crate in with me.
Sure.
Okay.
There are a few people kind of finishing up the last of their meals. He's got a few other helpers in here that are kind of cleaning up and putting away food in the back. You can hear a butcher's knife on a table somewhere in the back room, chopping and prepping something or other. And he just starts wiping tables and chairs and starts putting them up and away. This seems private to him.
Okay. I'm going to... Thaddeus, can you have a seat for a moment?
He kind of stops mid-stroke, and seeing the need in your eye, he sits down across from you at a table.
I'm going to begin to take my armor off, and I'm going to pull it over my head and place it on the table. And then I'm going to say, bear with me for a moment. And I'm going to take his hand, and I'm going to place it on my back where I have a scar from the arrow striking me.
You do not.
I don't have one. I thought I did.
No, there's no mark, no evidence of the wounds from your first death.
New bodies, bud.
For some reason I thought I remembered a scar there.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Rewind.
Okay. Then yeah. So I guess I will just take my armor off regardless, and I'll sit down. Do I look the same? Does my body look the same?
Yes, yeah, your body looks exactly as you remember it.
Just not without the scars from my death.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Any other scars that were there previously, your battle scars from your time as a mercenary, those are all present. It's that death scar is not there.
Interesting. Okay. Vadius, do you notice anything strange about me?
You seem unsettled. But you look like the young man that I met all those years ago.
And does that not strike you as odd that I still look as a young man? A young orc?
Well, young's a relative term, son.
I suppose.
You look healthy.
That day, Vadius. That day that you fled. I died that day. I cannot explain what's happening to me. As I said, if this is not Vyari's grace, I know not what is. I perished years ago, and I awoke in the nude as a babe, in a cave with people I've not met before, and ventured my way back to Thrum, and I feel so lost yet guided. If this is not for a purpose, I don't know what to say.
He pauses at all of that. You can see he's kind of got like just a sorrow in his eyes for you a little bit. Like he feels the not the discomfort, the tornness of like not knowing where you're going. Maybe seeing echoes of when you first met him. It says everything happens for a reason, Calder. You know, Vyari instructs us to care for others, to care for your fellow man, to show compassion. But that's only so people can continue doing what they're meant to do.
I just have so much fear left within me. Why me? Why am I deserving of this?
I don't know. Why are any of us deserving of surviving into their 70th year? He gestures to himself at that. It's like so many.
I'll gesture to the soup kitchen in general and say, I suppose some are more deserving than others, but I'm afraid my past still haunts my memory, Vadius.
Well, it'd be a shame if it didn't. It made you who you are now. Without that trauma, would you have come to my steps? Would you have followed this path?
I suppose not. Perhaps the individuals I travel with now, perhaps you could speak to them. There were things in this cave that I don't know how to explain, and I don't know if anything in your studies or your time would have any inclination or indication of what is happening to us.
I I'd be happy to look. I brought a few of my books from Trestle after things calmed down. And there is a library here, though you'll need to... it's not something I can grant permission to, but I can put in a good word. I do know the librarian there. She's a good woman, very smart. Probably can answer some of your questions. The dwarves that built this blessing of a home have records that go back ages. Finding what you need in there is a different story, though. He chuckles. But I would be honored to meet the friends you've made along this journey, Calder.
Perhaps tomorrow, then. Vedius, you need to know. I don't know what's happening to me, but I do know, aside from these individuals I've awoken with and am now traveling with, I do truly feel you're the only one I can trust. This information cannot leave this conversation.
He kind of smirks. Says, I won't tell a soul, but I'm sure there is far more. I'm sure there are others deserving of trust in your world. Not everyone is Piro.
A reminder I sometimes need.
Well,
Vedius,
perhaps this will be enough of a reminder for you. And he unbuttons the top button of his shirt and takes off a very familiar holy symbol and hands it out to you.
I will take it and immediately place it back on. Or not back on. Is this mine?
It is yours.
Okay. I will place it back on. And then I will begin to put my armor on and just say, Thaddeus, I do come bearing gifts to some extent. I've managed to we this is not all my doing, though my idea. We've found some stolen property, furs and such, that cannot be returned to their rightful owners, and we've been given permission, so to speak, from gods of Thrum to distribute these furs and clothing to the needy of Thrum. I have them in a crate just here, and if you're not too tired, old man, perhaps we could go through these tonight and catch up.
He stands up and walks over to the crate with you. You open it up and show him, and he starts pulling out hats and garments and all kinds of things, and looking at them and appreciating the quality. And he looks at all of it and says, "Calder, I can't take this.
Well,
sell
it's
it.
Not...
We could clothe 10 times as many."
Mm-hmm. We'll do it together then. And that's how I would spend the rest of the evening, is going through the clothes, prepping them for sale, so that we can make money to donate to the needy.
Okay. Okay. Sounds like
I think I would also explain to him in detail what happened to us in that cave. The spinning wheels, the doors, the things that hold the fire. Can't think of what they're called
Braziers.
right now.
Braziers.
Braziers,
or
thank
braziers,
you.
yeah.
Braziers, all of
Braziers.
that, everything,
Not braziers.
especially. That's right.
Nope.
Those are bras. There's a couple of fur braziers in this box, though. That'll sell for a hefty price.
Only to the right clientele.
That's right. Especially like the portion of like touching the discs and the memories, and I believe if I'm not mistaken, I had seen a memory of this figure, right, fighting in the snow.
Mhm.
I would definitely mention that. And I would mention what I know about each one of the people that I'm traveling with, especially the weird one. Especially Maxwell, like talking to barrels and saying he's hallucinating and but I'd give him like all that information.
Okay. All right. Full debrief. Okay. We'll dig into that probably next time.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go to Des next, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys part ways. Des, you leave the guardhouse. This is your old stomping ground. You know the streets of Throom like the back of your hand. Finding the places you used to cover on your route is absolutely no problem. So you start taking kind of a stroll down memory lane, essentially. By this time in the evening, there's not a lot of news being distributed. You do see signs of scraps of the paper here and there on the street, discarded or read, or you see a little bit stuffed into a trash bin or something like that. But no newsies like actively pitching at this point. It's past dinner time. Like markets are starting to close up a little bit here, but you pretty easily make your way toward the Herald's headquarters, which is this not at all ostentatious building, more of a warehouse, really, kind of tucked off the main drag, back in a corner. It's where the work gets done. You go into a fairly nondescript front door that says H. Holland Homazin's Herald over the door. And it's you can hear there is bustling about inside and everything.
Is there anybody working the front desk if there is one?
You open the door. And immediately as you step inside, it's like two big swinging doors that open. There is a receptionist sitting at the front desk, just kind of tidying up papers, doing a little bit of clerical work and everything. And she just kind of looks up at you and says, "Throom Herald, how can I help you?"
Hi, I was the last time I really did anything here was 3 years ago, but I realized I never formally quit, so I'm here to put my 2 weeks in.
No
Oh my
way.
god.
No way.
Three,
Speech.
honey,
Such a weird little halfling.
I did not expect that at all.
I really didn't either. I think you're probably a bit late on that one, honey.
Oh, am I? You just automatically fired me?
Oh, you think we're holding paychecks for 3 years?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, you guys paid me off commission. It's not like I was paid off a salary. I just wasn't selling.
Oh, are you looking for a job again?
Does a short-term job work? I mean,
Well,
you know what?
it's something Holland will have to approve. Name?
Sure. Foreign Desja? I usually go by Des, though.
Shut up. No
Yeah,
way.
it's me.
No, it's not you.
Yeah, my name is. Sorry, the mask is a bit. I pulled the mask.
That's funny.
Holy shit. You died.
No, I didn't die. I mean,
Yes, you did.
Well, and how would you explain I'm still alive?
I don't know. How do you explain this? And she goes over to the wall and grabs a little sketch off the wall. And it shows not so much a sketch, well, a little sketch of you like up at the top, and then a little blurb saying Desja, Newsy for life, 3 years, or I forget how long you worked for the paper. However many years, just like a little plaque on the wall.
heroically trampled.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that sketch is just an artist's rendition. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. I just decided I need to take a break. And thought I might want to put my 2 weeks in while I'm still in town. But apart from that, I never really liked this job, so I'm glad. I thought I had to put my 2 weeks in and work 2 more weeks, but now that I don't have to, it's kind of relief.
Well, I can pass this up to Holland. Are you pulling my leg?
No, I actually didn't like this job at all, so I'm actually really glad you said that. What's your name, by the way?
Frankie. Oh wait,
Frankie!
no, sorry, wrong one. Ducey.
Ducey. Well, nice to meet you, Ducey. I'm actually more interested in seeing if Sicily still works here, as well as
Yeah, Sissy's
as
still,
well
Sissy's
as
still here.
Hilliard. She's still here?
Sissy, Hilly, Frankie, they're all in back.
You're lying. Are they in today? Or are they in right now?
Probably.
Feels like a hillbilly reunion. You guys gonna have a catfish fry out back?
She kind of eyes you up and down, like stands up. Just a dwarven woman, not terribly descript. Stands up behind the desk, kind of looks you up and down at all the crazy garb you're wearing, and says, yeah, let's go. Come on. And she turns and hustles into the back room, kind of dragging you along. You go into the back, just kind of like into the break room. Sicily, Frankie, and Hilly are all in there playing cards at the moment. You can see past them. The warehouse has grown. There's like a staff of copywriters and stuff, all frantically scribbling on pages. Like there's way more paper coming through here than there ever was when you were working here a few years ago. You walk in the door. Frankie goes like white seeing you. Sicily, just like slaps her cards down on the table. It's like, Des.
Well, I never thought I'd see you again. How are you?
It's like huge, raucous. Hey, how you doing? Hilly's grown. He's quite a bit older now. Has definitely hit his growth spurt since you passed. They're, oh my God, how are you? I thought you got buried. Your family came, and Holland gave them like a death stipend or something. This is unbelievable. Oh my God, he's gonna be so pissed that you're alive.
Well, don't tell him. For my sake, please. I'm only visiting town. I'll probably be out in another couple of days or so. Just visiting by. But it's been what? How long has it been since I've been here? Like I don't know.
It's been God. And Frankie pipes up immediately. He's like, 5 years.
It's been 5 years since I've been here.
5 years.
So, I mean, I just want to stop by and see how you guys were holding up, how the old HQ is holding up.
Oh, it's doing fine. I took over all your old routes. Ducey pipes up.
I barely acknowledge her.
You see Sicily kind of like rolls her eyes at it a little bit.
Well, Sicily, I'm surprised to even see you still working here. What makes you still want to pick up being a newsie?
I mean, it's a job. Whatever, the hours are good.
Yeah, it's true. It was never terrible. But
you catch out of the corner of your eye, she is drawing a card from the deck as everybody's talking to you, and kind of like looks at it down to the side and slips it into her pocket from the game that they're playing.
I see that. I don't say anything.
Well, if y'all would like to go out for some food, I'd absolutely love to. I've been traveling for a bit though, so I figure I might want to get some rest. But I might be playing in the local inn or tavern. If y'all want to stop by.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, let us know any day, anytime. They are all over it. It's like the old gang's back together again.
Oh, it's sweet. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah. You guys, wrap up, say very fond hellos, farewells, kind of share stories. They tell you about what they've been doing. Pretty much the same old. Just the grind, and talk about how the paper's really taken off since the war, since that attack on the city. There's been a big boom in the news industry here. Yeah, so they chat your ear off. You grab dinner tonight. Go eat out. Go play some music. Have a grand old evening.
Sweet.
Theo, I think let's go to you next. So you yes, you walk. Much like Des, this is kind of your hometown. You know your way around here and don't really get lost in the streets at all. And as you head thoughtfully down toward Droom's Temple, toward the Sunspire, you do pass that alley that you recognize, that you heard that shout for help from, where you met your unfortunate end. It looks pretty much the same as before. Still a little shabby. The fading evening light is casting shadows all along it. It feels actually very similar to the night that you passed, really. What are you doing there?
Well, kind of like what I was saying earlier, just basically one of the things he wants to do is get back, like try to, again, finally remembering and finally kind of processing like what Calder had talked about. It's like, oh man, we died. It's like, okay, he's kind of trying to process that at this moment and getting back to like, this is the last place I was standing and everything, and trying to remember, okay, it was like this, I was here, and then the person stabbed me here, and like, again, like looking for, reaching for the wound, and just, and then basically, kind of also futilely trying to place, was he here, kind of thing. Did that actually happen? Like, is there evidence that he was standing here just recently? Like, you know what I mean? Like, again, futilely looking for, like, is there a blood stain? Is there something like, oh yeah, that's my blood, I recognize it, kind of thing. And
go ahead and give me an investigation check. Yeah, it's been several years. I guess for you, it's only been a couple years. But being just a city street, cobblestone below, there's dirt in between. The ground is upset. With every rain, things are purged and washed away. You can clearly hear that sound of shattering glass from whatever was dropped here before. But no, there's no evidence beyond your own memory that this ever took place.
Remind me, and I apologize, the person who I was trying to help, were they able to get away, or were they were still being restrained when I lost consciousness?
They had been gutted as you,
that's right.
Yeah, as you approached.
That's right.
You hear that swing of a blade, them begging please, and that figure standing over him saying it's too late for that now. Before their cry for help was cut short by a gurgle.
Okay. Well, with that, at that point, Theo would go ahead and continue his way to the temple.
Okay.
It's like, okay, well, I guess I gotta, shove this down and everything like that and process it another day.
Sure. Yeah.
Surely it won't happen at a moment of emotional weakness.
Of course not. Yeah, you get to the Sunspire, and it's pretty empty. There are There are a few people here. It's not completely abandoned, but there are like leaves brushed up against the corners of the steps a little bit. Not that it's fallen into disrepair, but that it doesn't get the traffic that it used to that would naturally like kind of keep it at that peak cleanliness. You do see the cemetery where the graves are still kept nicely off to the side. Yeah, and step inside. Step inside the stone doors. As soon as you walk in, you can see everything is kind of funneled up toward that one giant pillar of glass that juts out the ceiling. Nowhere near as large as the Stormcallers, but that nice orange glow that lights up as soon as the dawn hits it, and bathes the whole interior with that beautiful orange light, is dimmed now with evening having come. The sun's fallen behind the mountains to the side. There are a couple attendants here, a few kneeled and praying, a few lighting alms off to the side. And you do see Vikram Thul standing down at the far end, on his knees offering prayers to the fading light.
I imagined that, basically it's, he basically goes off like I can't see this temple and everything you're describing without thinking like kind of like Catholic temple sort of stuff, Catholic church sort of thing, in the sense that he immediately walks in and everything like that, and him being a follower of Droom and everything would immediately have like, okay, there's like 2 or 3 things you have to do as soon as you walk in, like, okay, you have to light an incense stick or light a candle, that kind of thing, or whatever. It's like, basically,
absolutely.
and he goes, the several rites and everything like that he has to do as soon as he walks in the temple, and those are the things that he does, even if
Bringing light into the world.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that. Yeah, exactly. And he leaves behind, like, he disarmors himself as much as possible, to basically not just make this clanking noise and everything like that, just trying to get back to just simple things. He does keep Dawn with him, though, because it's kind of thematically appropriate that Dawn would travel with him and everything like that. And hoping that it would not be too forward or too improper, he puts himself up next to the Vikram and kneels down to offer prayers and everything like that as well. Just kind of, and going through the regular motions of, this is the prayer you use when you kneel. This is the prayer for when it's after supper, and but just but also it's probably it's the first time since he's woken up and everything like that he's been able to give a full devotional and everything like that, and so he spends a bit of time doing that. And again, he wants to, if as long as he doesn't throw an elbow at him, he'd like to do it next to the Vikram.
Okay, yeah, you go right on up there next to him in that prominent spot at the back end of the temple there. And you kneel down, and he doesn't even really acknowledge you at first. Like, he's aware of your presence, but he very dutifully goes through the last of his own rites, thanking Droom for the light that he gave, and begging him to return on the next day, to not abandon them into darkness. And goes through all the ends of his prayers, and then just waits quietly until you're finished with your own.
And when he gets, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and he just kind of sits there and says, "I'm not sure by what measure the light shines within you, my son, but it is a pleasure to see your face again."
I come to you confused. I come to you without answer. I come seeking wisdom, and I come seeking the light. It is It has only been a week since I've seen you.
Since my last confession.
I was gonna go, but I know it's been much longer.
Wisdom
I seek your counsel.
Wisdom and the light I can offer, but answers for why a man that I buried myself stands before me may be harder to come by.
I'll take anything at this point.
Tell me everything.
And Theo does.
Okay.
Theo spends leaving nothing out. He starts at the last night that he remembers being stabbed in the alleyway, trying to help someone who was eviscerated and everything, to seeing the light and seeing the eternal spinning and everything like that, and waking up naked in the cave with everyone. He makes sure to say, yeah, and I saw Dez again. And then he brings up the fact that they died again and woke up once again. Again, he goes through everything, every bit of detail that he possibly can. Climbing down, that he tries his best to remember, to describe all the details of the cave and everything like that, up where they were, and the orb and everything in there, the braziers, and then the climb down.
Okay.
Down, and everything, and all the way through meeting Lieutenant Alhan, and he's been, he does talk about each of the members. He's a little careful speaking about Maxwell and his goopy ooky penguin. It's like I still don't trust it. He also produces Dawn, and it's like, this was another companion that we found, and this is another companion that we found.
Do you activate Dawn?
I do not activate Dawn.
Show him the handle.
Yeah, I provide the handle and everything like that, because if I recall correctly, she still can communicate.
Everything. She can speak audibly.
And basically just kind of introduce. It's like, this is it. It says, Dawn. This is my superior. This is my master. This is this is my priest.
She remained silent.
And then and then he also wanted to mention, that, of all things too, the constellations that we found in the cave.
Sure.
That sort of deal and everything like that, and just be like, and it's like, so it's, and then basically after all of that, leading up until the point that I walked into the temple, and then just saying like, and so, have you heard of this happening before?
I want to clarify that a little bit. Dawn does not speak audibly, but she says to you mentally, forgive me, Theo, but I do not know him, nor trust him with my story yet.
Leave it at that.
Vikram, Vates, he's very patient, right? He's a quiet man of few words, few weighty words. And when you're done with this entire tale, there's a lot of space, a lot of silence, as he just kind of absorbs it and thinks for a second and says, clearly, Droom has chosen you to lead these people for something. What? I can't say at this time. But he is the light. He banishes the darkness. And with everything you've said, it sounds like that is the path that you've been set upon.
And then at that point, too, so you're just like the figure I mentioned in that vision I had. It felt so real. They looked like the Storm Heralds. They looked like the
Stormforged?
The Stormforged. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, the Stormforged. But it seemed, I don't know. He seemed. I've never seen anything like that before.
Visions can take many forms. Perhaps this was... He banished the demons with his light when he arrived, according to your description. Perhaps this was an avatar of Droom, speaking directly to you. Naming you, as it were.
You said I was under scrutiny.
Well, we all are, aren't we? Let perish the secret keepers.
Vikram, I have an odd request.
Please.
You said you buried me yourself.
He gets up and walks toward one of the side doors.
I follow.
Yeah, you head on out into the cemetery, and it's not stately. It's simple headstones, and he walks to a corner. There's a fledgling elm tree growing in the spot, and you're kind of under one side of it a little bit. He just stands quietly, doesn't point or anything, just near the headstone. That reads Theodoric Forest. Where was it? Theodoric Forest, 584 to 610.
Have you heard from parents?
They came, yes. We've not stayed in close touch, but they did come and see you put to rest.
Well, my father did not cry.
Was that a question?
As an answer. Vikram, I have much to think about on your wisdom. May I rest here for the evening?
Of course. This temple will always be a home to you.
And basically he, it's like, I want to get changed, and there's some business that needs to be attended to. Are there robes that I might change into?
Of course. He takes you to the back room. Gets you clean clothing, acolytes, garbs, whatever you're looking for there. And sets you on your way to continue with your evening.
Well, yeah, because basically what he does after he gets his acolytes garb and everything is like, well, it's like, I thank you very much, and he goes, finds the broom closet, and he gets to work tidying the front of the temple.
Nice. Okay, and while you're doing that, we will jump over to Orson here. Actually, Maxwell, before we do that, since you guys were kind of traveling together, is there anything else you wanted to do in the city here? I will mention that as you've been walking through Throom, it's not just one or three of these things. You see like a dozen of them, maybe more, not all at once, scattered throughout the city, sitting on a bench next to an old lady eating a sandwich. One of them is like riding in a cart that's making its way up the street. They're just kind of all over the place. And when you get close enough, they all notice you and just watch you until they pass out of sight.
I'm just gonna pretend like they don't exist.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna turn to Orson and be like, "Is there a library here?"
There is.
Yep. There's a library. Yep.
Can you direct me?
I'm sure I can.
Yeah. It's called pretty simply the Tomes. It's up the hill a ways, more toward the like the Coronal's house and some of the other primary buildings up at the back of the city. But yeah, it's something you can go and try to visit.
Are you gonna do anything while I'm gone?
Yes, my plan is to go find my son's shop and then go find my family.
Your family lives here.
Some of them.
I thought you lived somewhere else outside of the room. I thought it
Yeah,
was only
but they'll dance. But I'm an old man. Okay, I've had many homes. My children are grown. They have their own homes. They don't live with me.
But you lived in. Your family lived in Belvant.
Both. Kind of. It's not far.
And what happened to them?
I don't know. I was gone. We've been over this.
Have we? I
I've
forgot.
been gone for 20 years. 20 years, Max.
Yeah, that's a minute, right?
Yes? How many years
That's
have you
a-
been gone? Do we know? Do you know?
Yeah,
Do you know what
I
year
do.
it was?
I was gone. I don't know the exact year. 60
601.
So 12 years.
12 years, give or take.
Yeah, I died in 593.
Wow. Below the 600 mark. That's an achievement.
Yes, I was born in 514.
Wow. That makes you. I don't even know. Oh
99. 99.
no way! You're 99. You look great for an old man.
Well, 20 years is missing, so
That's very true.
79, 99. I don't know what to go by. I'm not sure.
You're awfully energetic, though.
You know, ever since we awoke in that cave, I've had this energy, this, I don't know, pep in my step, they say. Just invigorated. When I first left the city, I was excited. I wanted to see adventure, experience the world, and I did. I saw mountains, and I sailed on a ship, and I saw vast places, plains, and just I saw a lot, and it was great. And I think that carried through, and I just want to see more. I lived so much in the city, and I worked on my pottery, and I love working on pottery, but I didn't see the world and adventure much.
Did you die with a lot of regret?
No.
Good.
Other than maybe more adventure, right? I got to do it for about a year.
Can't get enough, right?
That's how it feels now. And I was feeling old then, and I just don't feel that old now. I don't know.
You've gotten 20 years younger.
Maybe more. I don't know. It's great though. Watch this. He goes up and he walks on his hands.
I see. I can't even do that. That's crazy.
All right. Well, Maxwell, since you've got, I think we've got at least one other person who's going to be wanting to head to the library. I'd like to save that for now.
Yep.
So, Orson, to wrap things up here, then you go You go hunting for Adel's shop.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit of searching. You ask around a little bit for directions here or there. Get a little turned around in these twisting city streets, far bigger than Belvance was. It's a little maze-like, but eventually you come to an abandoned shop that just says Turner's Turnings, and the sign over the door is a little cattywampus. The windows are caked with dirt. Doesn't look like anybody's been in here for a while.
Can I try the door?
Locked.
Maybe the family has a key. I just kind of put my hand on the door and look away and just kind of drag it down the door as I walk back away, real soft.
Okay. Heading for Wilda's house then?
That's the one.
Okay. You wander on over near the Sun Spire, a bit behind it, a few blocks, and again start asking around a little bit, and eventually come to her door. You knock, and there's after a few moments, there's an answer, and a man probably in his 60s or so answers the door. Can I help you?
Yeah, Orson, I am looking for Wilda.
Wilda? She's up at her sister's right now.
Ah, all right. Cecil or
Yeah,
Bethany.
up at Cecil's. How do you know Wilda?
Oh, she's my daughter.
Oh my. He sticks a hand out. Frederick, a pleasure to meet you.
Frederick?
Wilda's husband.
Husband. Huh. Well,
W-
welcome to the family.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Yeah. Do you think she'll be back soon, or?
I don't know. There's quite a commotion going on over at Cecil's place.
Oh, maybe I do need a cup of tea before that.
Well, come
probably
in.
cause quite a
In.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna cause quite a commotion.
I think the rest of the family's over there too.
Really?
Georgie and her girl.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I ran into Ellard, actually.
Oh, good. How is the lad?
Oh, he's doing good. He's working on fixing forts.
Strong back. It's good. Good. He stays busy. Keeps him out of trouble.
Yeah, he told me the news of his father and
Yeah,
how much.
Cecil hasn't had the heart to clean out his shop. It's just kind
Yeah, I
of
stopped over there and saw it was locked up.
You still got the famous hands?
Always.
Well, if you're sticking around, I'm sure that the place could use some love, but would be great to have you back around. I know Wilda would just love it.
We'll talk to the family, but I don't know how long I'll be sticking around. I would love to do a little turning, just clear my mind and do that, but I need to see the family and do things. But now, tell me about yourself a little bit. You into the pottery? What's your business?
Oh no. Carvings mostly. I'm retired.
Like wood?
Yeah.
Oh.
He takes you inside and brings over like a little duck he's got carved that's standing on a little base. It's like it's good. It's nothing spectacular.
It's nice.
Yeah.
You make a lot of these ducks?
Oh yeah, you look around and there are like 60 of them on shelves all around this main room.
Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Got any of my old pots around here?
Wilda doesn't let me cook with those much. But yeah, we've got a few of your pieces in the bedroom.
Oh, good. Huh. Yeah, you said you're retired, so that should help you get through if you need to. That's good. You've been taking care of my girl.
Oh yeah, it's been hard since her first husband passed, but my wife went a few years ago, and we found each other again. So here we are.
That's good. I know how that goes. I miss my wife dearly. 63 years we were together, you know.
63. My goodness.
Yes. That's almost older than you, I imagine.
Just about.
Yeah. Well, hey, this tea is fantastic, but I think I should go find the rest. You want to come? Show me the way.
Sure, I'll point you in the right direction, but there's a little too much energy over there for my speed.
Frightened. Yeah. Maybe another duck.
You've got quite some girls. He walks you down the street and kind of points you at the right house.
All right.
And just waves you and then hobbles his way back down the street a little bit.
Bye, Frederick.
Ta-ta!
Ducks, what the wood? Dunk, 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 dunk.
You hear there's a lot of commotion inside, but kind of quiet, like hushed yelling, sort of. Yeah, and everybody pauses for a minute. Or somebody, just hold your horses for a second, and opens the door. You see your granddaughter Georgina open the door, and kind of just instant recognition, sees you, and just like jumps and throws her arms around your neck.
Oh, Georgie, you're gonna knock me over. I'm an old man.
Oh my god! She pulls back and slaps you in the face, like straight away. You left a note? That's it?
I mean, it was a long note.
It wasn't a long note. 20 years you've been gone.
Well, I didn't mean for that.
You hear, as soon as she starts shouting at you about that, you see a couple heads poke around the corner. Your daughter Cecil comes out first. She's pretty close to your age now, a little bit younger. And then beneath her, your granddaughter Georgina II comes out. She was, last time you saw her, she was like 11. And now you only get it because of the family resemblance. But she's in her like early 30s now.
This is great granddaughter, right?
This is great granddaughter, yeah.
Great granddaughter. Okay.
Yeah. And so there are hugs and tears and shouting. It's a violent entry into the house, and they kind of drag you inside and plop you down. Everybody's talking at once, and Georgina the younger is like hushing everybody, like, don't wake the kids. It's just bedlam for a minute. What are you doing amid all this?
Sitting in the chaos and smiling.
So what do you have to say for yourself? Your granddaughter chimes in again. And all eyes, it just goes silent, and everybody stops and just stares at you for a second.
Yeah, I regret how long it's been. More than anything, I miss the time with all of you.
I should say so.
I did not plan for it to be so long. I don't even know how to explain, describe traveled for a year, and I saw great things, mountains, and I sailed on a ship, and I saw great plains, and just I saw the world. And then there was a storm, and there was lightning, and then there was white, well, dark, and then white. And then I woke up in a cave. And I came here.
Cecil,
I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what to do with it. But that's what happened.
Cecil puts a hand on your leg, and kind of grabs your hand in hers, and just says, "At least you're back."
It's very good to see you all. I heard about my sons.
Yeah, Adel and Helmut, and it's a shame. Bethany might be gone too. We don't know.
A warrior.
She always was feisty.
As much as you and your mother. Maybe a little more.
As you guys are talking and reminiscing, you hear a small little voice from the hallway just call out and go, "Mama," and rub her little eyes. And younger Georgina says, "Rhea, go back to bed, darling." She kind of stands there and is just kind of standing, looking at everybody, especially you, being the unknown face here. And she goes out and kind of walks, picks her up, puts her in her arms and brings her over. Kneels down in front of you and says, "Rhea, this is your great-great-grandpa Orson."
Beautiful name. It was. My favorite person in the world had the same name as you.
She's just got like a thumb in her mouth and kind of tucks herself into mom's chest a little bit. Cecil pipes up and says, "This is all well and good. Georgie, there's no way you can go now." And little Georgina says, "I don't know, Mom." No, not. God, you've got so fucking many family members. I don't know, Grandma.
An old man, all right.
He's been gone. He's been gone for like 2 weeks. What am I supposed to do? And she goes, I don't know. I told you not to marry that lout."
Another one. What's going on?
Georgie says, My husband's been gone for 2 weeks. He told me not to worry. He said he was going to be back in no time. He just had to do something, and then we'd all be fine. We'd all be safe. We'd go live on the coast or something. Go live on the coast with Rolf, maybe. But Keith hasn't been back. We're going to go ahead and end the session there, I think.
No way! You had to be Corey. No way! Oh my god!
Oh, you're a real son of a bitch.
It was right there. It was right there in front of us. The entire
I literally wrote down, wife Georgina has a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old boy and girl. That's
Wife,
true.
Georgina and everything like that. But God, Georgina, why is that sounding familiar?
You are a son of a bitch, Cole.
No way! Oh my god!
If I can just retcon one thing. The only thing is, like, when Calder would be the only person that wouldn't have heard this. But when we left, we should have said, hey, like especially like for Theo, he would have been like, hey, I've got something I'm gonna do, and it sounds like Theo had something he wanted to do, and Orson, it's like, how about we meet up tomorrow? And it's like,
Somewhere.
hey,
I think assumed you would meet tomorrow.
yeah, it's like, here's like a tavern or something like that. We'll meet up like around lunchtime or something like that. Meet up at a tavern.
Okay.
You son of a bitch.
Oh my god. Insane. Oh my god. I saw Richard's face and I was like, wait, what? And I was like, wait, Georgina. Oh my god. And then I realized at the same time.
It was just,
Oh my gosh. That was so good.
I'm
Ugh.
surprised.
Eric, did you know?
mm,
No. Damn.
Brutal.
I'm a
until
little
right
surprised
when you
nobody
guys did.
nobody called that, especially when you asked like, where's Keith's house? Oh, it's a few blocks behind the Sunspire.
You even said it before.
Everybody's
Oh,
by the
everybody's
Sunspire.
by the Sunspire.
Say that.
Oh god.
We're
Wow.
That was brilliant. That was so good.
Corey is
God.
just in heaven right now. That's the problem.
I mean, that's the
That was
exact
so
reaction
good.
you want, right?
Yeah.
man.
That's crazy.
All right.
Oh
Well,
I don't even know.
everybody's awake. We got to keep going.
Well, I got my second win, man. Let's go. Let's ride. No,
No, we're gonna call it there. I've got planning I
That was
need to
good.
do before the rest of this unfolds here. So, thanks everybody for joining us this evening. To Syrinscape and Above VTT for their awesome tools. To HelloFresh for the sponsorship op. If you enjoyed the stream, be sure to follow us on Twitch, YouTube, like, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll be affiliates with Twitch soon, and we can do subs and stuff there too. Come hang out with us on Discord if you've got questions or whatever. We're a chatty bunch. We will be back next week, Wednesday the 18th at 7 p.m. Pacific time, although sans Stefan, I believe. But otherwise, the rest of us should be there. So until then, we remain your unseen servants. Have a good night, everybody.
take care.